Hello everyone, this will be the review of game Sinner Sacrifice for Redemption, and the key was provided by developer. I did a lot of research about this game because it's way too hard for me to finish, and I will have to tell you a lot of negative stuff about it, which is a bit unfair because I didn't finish the game and I find it simply too hard. So I decided to first try to defend the game as best as I can using all the research I did. Then I'm gonna show you the gameplay and then I will sum up. So what is Sinner? Sinner is basically a Dark Souls game with almost all elements of Dark Souls cut out of it. What we get is a default character, boss fights, and after you beat the game, which is just boss fights, this is 8 boss fights with the same character that gets debuffed over time. So he has all the stuff that he has already, and then he gets debuffed. And that's basically the game. So it kind of feels like a default character that you have at the beginning of Dark Souls, with the difference that you don't have a choice of class. You only have one class, and you have to fight a boss. Right? You can't level up. You can't change your gear. You can only pick between small sword and shield and big sword. The spear that you see is a throwable kind of spell. You can say it's a spell. So we have a weak character basically. He has 2 weapons. He has throwing flammable object like a bomb, a couple of healing potions, a 7 I guess, 2 buffs, 20 spears, and maybe I'm missing something. I'm probably missing one thing. Oh, I guess that's it. So basically this is something you could normally have after a few hours of gameplay. If you have like a weak mage with 2 weapons, a crappy shield, weak weapon, yes, okay, weapons are weak, but also weak armor. This is, by the way, the full armor. This is the best you have, but it's still weak. So you can basically build such a character very quickly, and it feels like those prologue default boss fights where you have to fight a boss. You can change nothing. You have to beat it to actually start leveling, to actually start playing the game. There is no levels as such aside from boss arenas, so there is the whole thing about the world creation is not there. There are no visible stats. Stats are hidden. I don't know where they are, but well, they change because of debuffs, and I guess after defeating the boss you get slightly more of something. All I saw was just health upgrades, but they say you get something back after beating each boss. When I was checking YouTube videos, when I was asking people, they also get the same message that HP goes up or health goes up. I'm not sure how it works, but this is what you get after a boss. From what I understand, nothing is unlocked until you finish the game. So after you finish the game, you do get weapons, additional weapons. Again, I was checking videos, and it seems they are not very powerful. They are also very, very weak. They take only a small chunk of enemy, so they are not like overpowered. And there is, I guess, there is game modes. I was trying to ask around, but there is very little information. There's 2 wikis. They are dead. Videos on YouTube are mostly just combat. That's what I'm gonna show you. And so I can't really tell you what's after that, but I guess there is some modes unlockable after the game. They're probably just harder modes, I guess. I know that there's something called nightmare mode, so I guess it's just harder. It would be strange if it was easier. Like after you beat the game, you get easier mode. That makes no sense because you already beaten it, right? It's probably harder. And new weapons, maybe they are slightly better, but generally they're weak, just like the starting weapons. So 40 defense. I would say this. Graphics are okay. By the way, this is lowest settings because it runs like shit. But they're okay, I would say. They're not bad. It kind of reminds me of Hollow Knight for some reason. But they could be climactic, atmospheric, and so on. I get it. It's not ugly. It's not also the AAA title for sure, even graphically, but it's okay. It has nice cutscenes before each boss. So you probably won't see them because I already saw them, all of them. I tried all the bosses. I didn't beat any of them, by the way. But there are very nice graphical, kind of like painted with a pencil or something like that. So yeah, this is nice and atmospheric, but this is just a couple of cutscenes. Boss design, they say it's similar to other Souls games. I would say it's okay. To be honest, I don't mind similar bosses. I think they have slight differences still, even if they look theoretically like a carbon copy of some boss. One of the bosses reminds me of Nier Automata, another boss from Demon Souls, another boss from Dark Souls 2, but they are slightly different. They have different moveset, they look slightly different. They are similar, a lot similar, but there are slight changes. So if you want to just beat another boss but with slight alteration to what you fought in a different game, you will. It will be similar, of course, but the game is different. The game has different skill setup, different stats, even though they are hidden. Your weapons are probably doing less or more damage. There are no resistances I know of. So it feels different because the mechanics are slightly different in terms of math behind it. The moveset is very similar to Dark Souls, but in Dark Souls you have an actual skill screen and you can see everything. So this can alter your game in Dark Souls. Here not really, because there is no skill screen. At least I couldn't find it. From what I know, there is nothing else in the game world aside from just boss arenas. If there is something I'm missing, then tell me. And generally speaking, if you want to defend the game, then please do it. Please direct me to a video with something I missed and just tell me what I'm missing, because maybe there is more to it. I just can't believe it's this little in the game, that the whole game is just that. And I know that there are weapons to unlock and modes, at least supposedly. I mean, I've seen videos, so I guess they are. But before you finish the game once, you get nothing. All you get is debuffs. Alright, so maybe let's go to options. By the way, the sound is broken because it's on 0, right? So this should be fixed. We already have broken audio setup in a game that is just released. So, well, how long it takes to see that it's broken? This long. You push one button, you know it's broken. Well, it's broken. Graphics, windowed and on lowest, right? This is all you can do. Yeah, even playtime is not displayed. So I put it as low as possible. I'm keeping this resolution so we can see something. Right, controls. I don't think we need it. Yeah, let's check it. Let's check it once more. Yeah, there is no character screen or inventory at all. At least I don't see it, unless there is something hidden, some crafting table somewhere. I don't think so. I think there is just no inventory and no character sheet. So from what I know, there is nothing like it in the game. Camera settings. Oh, this is important, guys. There is two options. There is fixed camera and free camera. Fixed camera is absolutely abysmal. You won't be able to play the game because it's just gonna show you stuff before of you, like it's constantly fixed on something before you. It's not like you focus on a character. You still can do it. You still can press F. By the way, it doesn't work always. But F button focuses on enemy. You can circle him, so it still works. The other camera mode is crazy. It's just so bad. I was thinking something is wrong with my computer, but no, it's just completely unplayable. This is better, but you have to go down with camera speed and mouse sensitivity. I would actually go, you know what, I would go with probably even lower, like this. Maybe it's bad, but well, it's always wrong. So I'm gonna leave it as it is. Smartphone, not sure what that does. Alright, back. Okay, let's see languages. Okay, there's a lot of them. Okay, nice. Right, so I have to show you the gameplay. Jesus, this is loud. Let's see. I'm gonna check camera and maybe check it once more, because this is generally way too fast. And it's not about me having a too fast mouse. It's also just compared to other Souls games. Alright. Yeah, now it's better. Generally it moves way too fast and you can just turn rapidly and drop to the abyss. Let's see what happens if I drop. What happens here? What if I die in the... Oh my god, this is loud. You know what, guys? I'm gonna kill the sound because it's definitely broken. Let it reload. Maybe I'll leave it now. Let's see if we have sound. Now we don't. You know, maybe it's... Maybe now it's dead. Okay, so you can change spells. Let's call them spells. Okay, so this is debuff, buff. This is buff. Okay, this is fire buff. This is healing. This is throwing spear, which we can treat as a spell. sort of, like having 20 magic arrows. This is a throwable bomb, and that's it. So we have 4 items. Yes, 4 usable items in the entire game. And also 2 weapons. This is first weapon, right? We can block and attack, or we can attack with a bigger sword. And this is Flamberge, by the way. And you can block with it, right? So 2 weapons of your choice, and 4 let's say buffs to use, buffs or spells or whatever you call it. Okay, so I'm going to probably just, oh, it's all silent now, it's very strange. Apparently you have to die to reset sound. Very weird. It should just work when you click it. Alright, I will be able to comment, so I'm gonna leave it without, because it will be extremely loud. So I'm gonna do it like this. One boss fight. I'm gonna show you one boss fight because I wanna show. Oh, now there is still sound. Alright, so I'm going to kill sound now. Let me find mixer. Sorry, it's loud. Alright, now no sound. Okay, so sound is broken. We lost stamina and HP. This is the debuff. Every boss gives you debuff, and last boss will have you suffer from all the debuffs. So we can choose the sequence of debuffs. You have to fight 7 bosses and 1 last boss, and every time you do, you get a debuff, and apparently you get something after you beat them. I never beat them, so I'm just gonna make a couple of attempts, probably 2 or 3, maybe 1, and just show you how it works. It's loading. Long time. I was actually recording many Souls games, and this one is just running the worst of them. Very strange. Works worse than Immortal Unchained, worse than Dark Souls 3, worse than The Surge. Well, The Surge was crashing, but yeah, it's kinda clunky. Alright, so that's the boss. Can I block it? Probably not. Yeah, I'm taking damage already. Half the life. Can I attack? Maybe? Yes, that's the damage you do. Right? This smidgen. I'm gonna try to use this. By the way, I have to block. Or maybe not. Okay, this can block it. I can heal, and we can maybe use something on the boss. Or not. I'm trying to roll, by the way. You're wondering what I'm doing. I'm rolling. So that's the damage you do with this crappy spell. As you can see, this is a very crappy spell. I don't know what's that. Oh, I'm dead already. I will try to heal now. Maybe show you something more. I hope I can. Alright, this is bad. I'm rolling. You know what? Let's try to attack with this. Am I attacking? Yes. Crappy damage, of course. Almost poisoned. Right, one more of these. Does nothing. Like 5% maybe less. Alright. And I'm going to throw fire. This is useful on him. But it's not gonna kill him. There's, by the way, achievement by killing him with fire. I think it's the killing blow. Because I don't think you can kill him with 7 of these. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, but I don't see it happen. Okay, one more. Okay, taking damage. I wish I could beat it, but it's just way harder. It's harder in a bad way because you can't level up, you can't change gear, and you're weak. Even though it's full power at the beginning, it's still a very weak character. It's just very weak Souls character. If you ever made a character for a challenge or you didn't bother to level, then that's how it feels. It's just underdone, bad character that is weak for the sake of it. It's supposed to be challenging, I guess, but just feels wrong. I think I'm rolling well now. Can hit like twice maybe. That's all you can do. I'm not sure what I used. Okay, let's throw those, all of them. Yeah, I'm throwing at this. Of course, it's my mistake. Now the problem is that you would have to learn the moves, and this is how I don't play Dark Souls. I never learn bosses. I build against them, and here you can't build at all. So that's the problem. Alright, once more. With feeling. You can just attack him because he's going to instantly counter you. So if you go inside and try to attack even once, probably you don't even hit him. Of course they have phases, so it gets worse. I was stunned there. See, he's doing a lot of damage on full power. I mean, we have full power, right? So we are fully buffed almost, with just less HP, but the defense should be maximum. And it's nothing. It's just nothing there. Well, normally, if I clicked like this, I would hit him and maybe even stun him and kill all those small enemies. But of course the weapon is very, very weak, even though it's a great sword. Yeah, he's hitting me. Ah, okay, I get it. I should be now up, and I'm not. So I messed up generally. Can I hide here? No. Poisoned? Am I poisoned? No. I will be. I'm dead, I guess. I can heal still. Alright, he didn't poison me yet. This is where you should go to avoid being... Oh my god. Am I dead? Yeah, I'm poisoned. I'm dead. Right, I just got an achievement for being poisoned. Alright, so I'm going to show you once more. Maybe I will show you the buff and we'll finish, because I just don't want to spoil all the bosses for you. Just gonna show you one. We'll try with the buff. Of course it makes no sense because it's gonna be as bad as before. I'm just going to show you a little bit more footage. So just one boss. This would be extremely loud, so I'm gonna just try to beat him. Not beat him, just do damage. Okay. Let's see. I'm flailing at him. That's what you can do. Almost nothing. Yeah, that was my charge. And it was bad. Well, we took maybe 10%. Already out of one potion. That was damage. The buff, of course, gonna dissipate. And I'm almost poisoned. Well, that's typical stuff that happens. It feels very clunky, to be honest. And if you ever thought that other Souls games were clunky, like Dark Souls 2 or Surge or Lords of the Fallen, this is worse. This is actually worse than Gothic, to be honest. Not that I think that Gothic is clunky. Just some people say it. I don't agree. This one is clunky, for sure. The way the game works on lowest settings, not satisfying. This should work like a charm. If it's just a boss arena in the whole game, then it should work awesome, but it doesn't. If it was super smooth, probably would be easier. Maybe. Or, well, at the same time it would be faster, so not necessarily. Am I doing some damage? Yes. I'm sometimes hitting him. Can I even block with this? I mean, you can. Let's try to block. Well, if I should. Probably it's not the proper tactic against him. You have to learn every attack and know what to do. I have no idea. All I know is that I'm taking half the HP every shot. And that's ridiculous. But it's quite normal for Dark Souls. You know, it's not that I am against bosses being hard. I just want to have a way to kind of counteract it somehow. You know, make a build that works and level up if I have to, and I can't. It's not in the game at all. There's no leveling. I'm not even sure if this unlockable weapon would help. Even if my weapon was twice as powerful, I would still lose it. Alright, because well, hitboxes are not the best. I clicked attack. I'm not sure I even hit him once. Again. I'm flailing, nothing happens. Now he got hit. Before I can make it count once, I'm dead. Yes, like roll, attack. Doesn't work. He attacks twice maybe. Yeah, he hit me. Alright. I'm dead. Right. F, and yeah, now it's locked properly. Those do almost nothing, to be honest. This is really bad. Maybe you can go like to half HP and then throw everything at him. But he has phases. He then has phases, and that's even worse. He's gonna just teleport and do other stupid stuff. So typically you can just go and kill him, even though it's supposed to be the easiest because you have just one debuff, not 7. See, now he Now he moves, and he gonna poison everything. And I can't even target him from here. Normally I would, right? I would just target him and he'll be targeted. But he's not. I'm dead now, because I have to know where is this place. By the way, I'm running. It doesn't work. I don't see myself. I think I fell or something. Yeah, I died. I would have to be on this roof to avoid this wave. So I would have to know before that he's gonna go, maybe once more. I would have to know that he's going to this face and stay near the roof and go there to avoid the attack. I guess that's the only place where he can hit me. Do you even see the roof? It's on the left, right? So basically on the left and on the right. So there is the roofs you can use theoretically. I know there's point to use a smaller weapon. If you hit, you're not blocking anyway. Alright, so this is the damage you can do. Alright. Maybe you just have to be extremely patient and just hit once and then roll back and so on. Alright. Roll, attack. Roll again. Attack. Roll. I don't think he got hit. I did. He didn't. Not sure exactly what happens after the phase, because, well, you can hide there, but then you still have to do half the damage to him. Those minions are hard to kill as well. One attack, right, just to show damage, because I know I'm dying there. Not sure if you can break his attack. By the way, I'm healing. At least I have healing. That's good. I'm at least healing without healing, so this helps. I have health regeneration, which is not something unusual. You can have items in Dark Souls that regenerate passively. So this is the typical stuff you get as a developed character. I'm trying to heal. Alright, done. Switching to throwing. If I keep this, at least I can damage him. Not that it helps. No. Not sure what I was doing. Alright, one more. Now again I have to heal. It's not like you have a choice. You would have to avoid him for a long time, I guess. Can he come here? I don't think he can come here. There's not enough. Oh, he's just gonna hit me through the boulder. That's bad. Maybe it's a way to go to just hide behind this boulder. I could heal that by just avoiding him. Theoretically. If I keep rolling, can he hit me? I don't know. I wonder if he can go to the roof. Let's go back. I don't see it. Alright, there's the roof. Alright. What you gonna do? This? Oh, that's easy. Can he hit me? Well, not really. I think he got hit. Oh, he's gonna do this. He got hit. Again. Yep. Alright, this is not hitting me. Oh, he can come here. Nice. I hit him? No, I'm not sure. I'm dead. Am I dead? Yes, I'm dead. I was just falling a long time. Okay, guys. So this is the combat you can expect. I'm gonna give up on this. There's no point to show you more attempts because this is just gonna take hours. So I think I was defensive enough at the beginning, just telling you what's in the game, even though I can't show you because I can't beat any boss. So to reiterate, you do unlock weapons after you beat the game, and you do get additional game modes, probably harder. This one is harder, maybe like this, right? So the graphics not so bad. The concept of the game, in my opinion, is horrible because it takes away all the good stuff from Dark Souls, which is making builds, making cosplay, having nice character stats that make sense and can change the way you play. It takes away all the gear, well, almost all the gear, because there is unlockable weapons, but you have to play the entire game with just 2 weapons and well, some default equipment that just takes scraped away from you. and you suffer basically from debuffs. You have to play kind of naked. When you lose your armor, then you lose your shield, then you lose some of your buffs, and you lose HP and so on. So we get heavily debuffed, but you still are the same character with the same gear. It's just weakened. So you only have those two weapons, no other choices, no bows, no hammers, no daggers, no spells. Well, there's just two damaging uh, powers you can use. You can use the throwing bomb and the spear. That's it. There's really no magic as such, and no builds for mage. And so all that stuff that I like, which is approaching the same problem from multitude of options, having different builds, having different tactic, using environment, that's not there aside from bosses. In boss fights, you do have some environmental things that can affect the outcome of the battle. You can hide behind stuff. You can use some stuff just to counter boss attacks. It's all about learning boss attacks, and that's not how I play Dark Souls. I always build against the boss, and I can't build at all, so it makes no sense for me. No leveling, no getting powerful. You are weak at the start, and it gets worse from there. So I am disappointed, to be honest. I'm very disappointed because this is probably the first Dark Souls game that I want to deinstall, and it never happened. Even when people were saying that the Surge is weak, or Immortal Unchained is weak, or Lords of the Fallen, or that something is clunky, or Dark Souls 2 has boring bosses, I never agreed with them. I always liked those games, all of them. I like Nioh, even though it was crashing. So this is the first Dark Souls game that I don't like. So it means that the whole soul of Dark Souls was taken away from it. Pretty much everything was cut off from the game. All you have is boss fights. Now, how much of Dark Souls is boss fights? Maybe 10%. Like the rest is everything else is micromanaging, optimizing your character, going through the areas, fighting mobs, testing all the weapons you collect, upgrading them, trying builds, all that stuff. And then you have a boss fight. And if you are well prepared, the boss fight is not even very long. So I would say this is not even the fraction of a game if we just count the time, because it also lacks other elements. Let's say Dark Souls 7 I played 70 hours. Let's say 10% of it was boss fights. So this would be 7 hours game, right? But with this many bosses. Dark Souls 2 had probably 20 or 30 bosses. This has 8. So we go down from 7 hours to 3.5, maybe 2 hours, right? Of just boss fights. And there is nothing else. There's no going to shops, there is no leveling, there is no farming, nothing. So we get a 2-hour game with 8 bosses, which is less than Demon Souls. No customization of character at all, aside from choosing your debuff, which is just downgrading your character, like de-leveling yourself. But there are no levels. All the stats are hidden, so even if you get something, you don't know what you get. Let's say I get a weapon. I don't know how much damage it does, because there is no screen for that. And if I get a debuff, let's say lower damage, how much lower? I don't know. It's not set. It's not shown in any way. Like my weapon goes from how much damage to how much damage. It's not shown at all. So I can only make a choice, any sane choice, if I don't know the numbers, right? I can only choose the kinda sequence of what I find most annoying. Like if in this battle I need regeneration, I'm not gonna pick the debuff for lack of regeneration, because I need in this particular boss fight first. If I have to fight this boy last and I need regeneration, I can't take it in that sequence. So there's only a choice between the sequence of debuffs. Now I am aware that there is stuff to unlock after the game, so it's slightly more than 8 bosses. After 8 bosses you have unlocks, you have new weapons and new modes, so this can prolong the game, but I guess it's still the same game. It's just a slightly different gear. Probably at best you get 1 weapon from every boss, so there will be 10 weapons total. That's still not much. And modes, well, if it's harder, it just makes it worse. Whatever you have here is gonna be even worse, even harder, even more annoying. If it's easier, then it kind of defeats the point. Or it's like catch 22. To beat the game, you need it to be easier. and you can't beat it because it's too hard, and after you somehow beat it, it's easier, but you don't need it, so it's pointless. Probably it's just harder. So I would give it 4 at best, because it's below standard. Clearly, it's below standard of any Dark Souls game. It works worse. It has somehow broken even sound setting. It's very clunky, and I never said about any Dark Souls game, even about Gothic. I was just accepting that some of those games were slower, but I never thought I never said it was just clunky and annoying. This one is. This one kind of controls very strange. It seems the same. The moveset is the same. It's kind of like Dark Souls 2, for instance, but you don't feel it. Like, you don't feel the weight of your equipment because you can't change it. There's no encumbrance. The rolls are kind of slow, and I'm not sure if you even get iframes during that. Hitboxes seem horrible, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I just don't hit the boss when I think I do, but it feels like, well, I just get close, roll to the side, attack, and he doesn't get hit. So it's like, it feels like hitboxes are bad, and they said Dark Souls 2 had bad hitboxes. I think this has worse hitboxes. Not sure if there's any mechanics like breaking through enemy attacks, defeating their stamina when they're blocking. No idea. Maybe it's there, maybe it's not there. There is no explanation, no guide, no wiki, no stats here, nothing, no manual. So you don't know how it works. You can only extrapolate from Dark Souls that it's kind of like it, but you have no guarantee that all the mechanics are in there. So I would say this is very disappointing for a Dark Souls game. And it is a Dark Souls game. It's a fraction of it. It's an empty shell of a Dark Souls game, but it still is. It's only the problem is that it takes the worst elements out of it. Now there is two types of people who might like it. One is speedrunners. Clearly the game is short if you can beat the bosses. So if you beat them first try every boss, it will be a very short game, and you can try to compete for speedrunning, which I hate personally, but some people like speedrunning. And other group is people who like challenging themselves in Dark Souls, and they play on level 1, and they play with no weapons aside from starting ones, or they do other, even they sometimes use, for instance, items that make you take more damage. I think there is, in a couple of Dark Souls games, there is a ring that gives you double the damage taken. So if you want to challenge yourself, this is definitely for you, because, well, it's there. You don't even have to put any restrictions on you, because it's a default challenge mode that you cannot change. You can't play it as casual. But if you like challenging yourself, this is challenging from the start. Like, well, you can't. I don't know if you can take all the debuffs at once and then fight one boss with all debuffs. But you can definitely make it as hard as possible, taking the most annoying debuffs from the start, like lower damage or something. Whatever you consider the worst debuff. So if you like challenge, this is for you. If you like speedrunning, this is also for you. If you like Dark Souls, this is not for you, because it just scrapes away all that you probably liked. You know, there won't be any cosplay, there won't be any builds, there won't be any progression through levels. You can even take a different path. Well, you can change the sequence of bosses, right? So kinda you can. But there's no real environment, which was the very powerful part of Dark Souls, just going through the areas and beating them. Yes, there were trash mobs, but, well, some of them were very powerful, and you have to tactically approach it. Like, every situation you would have to assess, like, where to go, what to use, what weapons, what bows, where to hide, who attack first, should I go to bonfire or not, and stuff like that. Here, it's not there. It's just boss fights. Some people compare it to Cuphead. To be honest, when I think about Cuphead, I don't even want it. So I'm gonna give it 4 and not lower, because it has at least the moveset of Dark Souls. It has the mood of Dark Souls. It has boss fights which work. I would say they are very extremely unfair, and the bosses are just hard for the sake of it. The biggest problem is that they take very little damage and they do very little damage. So basically, the difficulty is reached by scaling two numbers. This is the stupidest way you can do it. You just scale up a boss damage, so he kills you in 2 or 3 shots, and you scale down your damage, so you have to hit him 100 times or so. And That's how they reach the difficulty. As you can see, I did half damage to the boss. So if I could level up my weapon to have double the damage, which is normal in Dark Souls, I could clearly kill the boss and progress, but I can't. So I have to learn the moves, do it perfectly, never get hit and stuff like that. And I don't want to play like this. I never play Dark Souls like it. I always level up. I always make optimal builds unless I'm cosplaying, and even then I level up. So for me, all that I like about Dark Souls, and I do like Dark Souls. I played Dark Souls 2000 hours. This is the first Dark Souls games I don't like and I don't want to play. But yes, there is a slight defense that can be given to this game. There's apparently a group of people who are after exactly this, after just boss fight and after just challenge and maybe speedrunning. So they might like it. I would say the price is too high because, well, being a fraction of Dark Souls, a small fraction, or probably less than 10%, the price should be like $2 for it because there isn't much content here. There's just this, and it's less than just fighting all the bosses in Demon Souls, right? There's like 10 bosses or more. Here there is 8, so it's like it's below standard, I would say. Graphically, it's also kind of not the best. You know, this is okay. I wouldn't mind the graphics, but it's not awesome. It's not awesome in terms of like, oh, it's better than Dark Souls 3. No, I don't think it is. I think it's worse. But it's okay. It's absolutely acceptable. I am not speaking on graphics. I would say even the graphics are above standard to some extent. You could say it's atmospheric like Hollow Knight or Sword and Sanctuary. So of course it has some sort of flair to it, its own mood and atmosphere for sure. It's just devoid of all the elements of Dark Souls that I like. And the boss fights, I would just say they're unfair. And yeah, I know I'm a bad player, but um, I I've beaten all Souls games, and I usually did it by building against boss and knowing the game mechanics, and picking stuff that would allow me to kill the boss. Sometimes it was really a lot of leveling, a lot of perfecting, and sometimes I just needed one item, that like, you know, powerful spell or something. Here you can't do it. You just can't build yourself against the boss. You have to beat the boss with default character. And having a default character in Dark Souls is a blasphemy to me, because even the worst Dark Souls game, like, you know, Search has had 5 bosses. Lord of the Fallen had what did it have? Uh, I just forgot now, but it had something that was very low in terms of making yourself stronger against the enemy. It was kind of, you know, clunky, not many classes. Oh yeah, the classes. It only had 3 classes, right? So even in Lords of the Fallen, which had little amount of bosses and only 3 classes, at least you had those 3 classes. You could at least choose which class you want to fight the first default boss with, right? So of course Dark Souls had like 10 classes, but even this one first boss in the prologue, you could pick actually one of the 3 classes and change how you play. You know, you could be tanky, you could be fast, you could be average. And here all you can do is pick between one weapon and the other, and then you have to deal with it. This is basically um, tank and DPS, sort of, or tank or berserker, with shield or without shield, right? So you have kinda 2 classes, actually just one, to choose from, one default class really, with 2 weapons, and this is less than any Dark Souls game. This is just the basic element where you choose your character, you choose the adventure you wanna go through all of that. It's not there. You can play a priest, you can play a mage, you can play a thief with throwing bombs, powerful throwing bombs, like black bombs that kill the boss, the first one at least, and then you progress, and then you find something, you buy more bombs or stuff, or you upgrade your daggers. Nothing is here. It's just not here. It's the default character, default challenge mode, and just boss fights. So it's a small fraction of Dark Souls in terms of fun, in terms of gameplay, in terms of price it should be. So the price of this game, I would say, should be 1% of Dark Souls. This should be like $1 really for what it offers, and it's like $10. And you can have you can probably buy, well, for sure you can buy Lords of the Fallen for that money. You can probably buy Dark Souls 2 on sale. So the price is ridiculous, even though it's low, and the game is very disappointing. I will just leave it with 4 out of 10. I think it's below standard for a Souls game. It could be very short and disappointing, but if you're crazy about challenge and you're crazy about more boss fights, you could grab it. I would say grab it on sale because it's not worth $10 or more. It's like $2 probably, $2 or $3 on sale. Then maybe you could grab it. Maybe you would have some fun from it. And that's it, I guess. So I can't recommend it. But if you're crazy about speedrunning and challenge, then you might grab it. Might. And for everybody else, not recommended, especially to Souls fans. I know that you want everything Souls, just like me, and even I wanted to test this game. I'm actually grateful that I could test it because I wouldn't buy it. It's good I didn't buy it actually, because I would be pissed. But I can't recommend it to any Souls fan. I know that you want to touch everything that is Souls related, so you probably will buy it anyway. But I cannot recommend it. If you want to save your money, if you're running on low budget, don't do it. Just buy DLC or another game, or wait for another game and just buy it on sale, because you will just waste your money on this. You will probably not be satisfied. I wasn't. I was very, very, very disappointed. And yeah, I'm gonna leave you with that. So that was Sinner Sacrifice for Redemption. Actually, the worst Souls-like game I played in my life. So sadly, I mean they're all awesome. So it's 4 points out of 10, but it's the worst one. So I'm gonna see you in the next review, hopefully with something better or worse.